What's up, everybody? It's Monday morning, driving to work from New Hampshire mountains to Nashua, and as you can see, the skies, even though there was legislation passed that said that chemtrails are illegal and geoengineering and all that stuff of the skies is illegal in New Hampshire, the live free or die state, we are still not getting 100% sunlight on what should be a fully sunny day. The plants are not growing properly because they're blocking out the sunlight, and of the verse in the Bible that says, and the sun will not give its light, when Jesus is about to return. All these things happen, and you know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's an eclipse and stuff. Well, the sun hasn't been giving its light for a while now because they're geoengineering the skies. Wilhelm Reich, I believe, is the dude that created Orgone, and he created a box that can like heal you, basically, because he was trying to maximize the human sexual energy, because he was a pervert, and he basically like had a whole school that was filled with like people that were into that kind of thing. And he invented Orgone, which half the concerts that shows that Rob Skiba and Zen used to go to, like in the desert, which were like mainly people that were into like aliens and like stuff like that, fallen angel stuff. Zen and Rob would go to that stuff. Does Dizdar, and I'm pretty sure that's where Rob Skiba and Ruz Dizdar were like injected or like exposed to something where they died from whatever they were subjected to by evil people. And so those shows is where like you can buy Orgonite, and it usually has to do with aliens and blah blah blah, because a weird thing happens and I'll tell you what Orgonite is. Basically, it's like you take like little copper and metal shavings, and then you overlap them in layers between, you basically take like organic materials like I forget what the name of it is. It's like a Brillo pad, like wool, like metal wool. I forget the name of it right this second, but like you take like a Brillo pad, basically that material, and you like overlap it in layers, and then you have to solidify it in layers too. So like you take like epoxy resin, and you put like metal shavings, then you put organic materials, then you put metal shavings, and then you keep doing layers like that, and that's what basically heals your body in this machine that Wilhelm Reich invented. And then they arrested him and put him in prison because obviously the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to be healthy. But what's interesting is the materials that he did all this with, and the information that he did all this with, because he was also using it to like help farmers bring rain to certain areas that couldn't get rain, and he was using it to like, actually it can get rid of clouds too, depending on how you use it. So like if there's too much rain, then you can get rid of it. So he was like using that, and now they use HARP to do that, like a big machine like up in Alaska or whatever, and they use the satellite towers to like bring the metal that they're spraying in the aerosol in the air. They're using that metal or whatever, like in HARP, to like have the towers bring the weather where they want it. That's why you're seeing all this weird weather in different places all around the world right now, is because they're manipulating the weather. So I don't know like if you know this, but the Pope just died on Easter, and it's pretty interesting that he died on Easter, and I'm sure they're gonna spin that some way to like manipulate a billion people that are Catholics into doing something, blah blah blah, whatever. And they're saying like, oh, he was praised for his like merging of religions and his like merging of like acceptance of like certain communities and blah blah blah, like all evil crap, right? So I just passed a truck that says the end. I seem to pass it all the time when I'm talking about apocalyptic type stuff. But anyways, it's an advertisement for like Ocean State Job Lot or something, the end of high prices, but just kind of funny. So Wilhelm Reich, back to him, his stuff called Orgonite, some people turn it into necklaces, which is supposedly like supposed to block you from like RF like waves and all this stuff, and like, but what's interesting is what's been reported is that certain people that wear these things, or they have them around their neck and stuff when they're out at like the beach and stuff, they hear dogs howling, and people will hiss at them if they're wearing it, and different weird anomalies that have been recorded of people that wear Orgonite. People around them start to like do weird things and stuff, and whether that's the line of Cain that are just like don't like that frequency, because whatever they're wearing as a frequency to not let you see them. And like, you could just go look up what I'm saying, like the fact that like George Bush's daughter, Edward Cullen from the Twilight movies, are on TV, and you could see their whatever's in front of their face that lets you see them as a human is glitches out, and you can see them in their liquid crystal glitch state, which is only some of the reptilians. Some of them need that to transform. Some of them can naturally transform, like an octopus or like a lizard transforms, like their color type of thing. But so if you're like in the shower in the morning and you put your fingers over your eyes and you press on your eyes kind of hard, you end up seeing black and white crystal like display of your eyes like go glitch out yourself, and you can see go look at what I'm saying in your own eyes, and then go look up the video of George Bush's daughter glitching out and Edward Cullen glitching out, and it's the same thing. And you'll see that there is a frequency of light and vibration that we see the things around us. Scientists even say that evolution's not possible because the human eye is so complex, it couldn't have evolved to its current state. And the reason our eyes are so complex is because we, and Jordan Peterson, the guy from Canada that talks, like, gives speeches all the time, people hate. He talks about like Cain and Abel all the time and whatever, like, but he says that the reason the human eye is the way that it is so that we can see snakes. I don't know why that is, but it's interesting he says that, because most human beings are scared of snakes. Most human beings do not like snakes. And when you see one, or when you're in the forest, for some reason, your eye is always like scanning. And when you see a snake, it's like, you're like, oh man, there's one. Like, I don't know why that is, but like, it's just a natural human reaction to seeing a snake on the ground. And I think it's because it's our natural enemy. I don't know why that is, like, I do, but I'm saying, like, I don't know why our brains are wired like that. It's interesting to me. But Jackie said this morning when she found out the Pope was dead is that you better get right with God. And I gotta say that I try my best, but I don't think that I'm perfect with God. I don't know if I ever will be. I hope that I will be, but every day I fight with myself in my mind. I fight with who I am as a human being, because I want to be free from sin entirely, and I'm sick of sinning, and I'm sick of doing things that are wrong. I'm tired of like being angry at like people that hurt me sometimes, and I'm, just the natural feelings that we all feel. I'm tired of living in a world where so many children and human beings have autism, but I don't feel like they should. I feel like that it's because of like all the different things that the medical industrial complex has put upon the world, and hence, like, also, I'm not saying chemtrails cause it, but they're trying to poison us with chemtrails. They're trying to do all these things, and so many people still think that Trump is our savior or something like that, and he's nothing even close. And if he was something that was supposed to help us, why are there still chemtrails? Why is there pictures of him on airplanes that are filled with bottles of chemtrails? Like, they're like, oh, well, we have to do it. Even if that was his excuse, oh, we have to do it because we're trying to save the planet from carbon and blah, blah, blah. It's BS. It's absolute BS. The trees would clean the carbon if we would just plant more trees and stop killing the trees by using chemtrails, because they need sunlight to grow, just like human beings need sunlight to survive. And when they stick us in our house for 2 years and also chemtrail during that time, our lack of vitamin D has irreparably changed the entire world. If you look at the babies being born right now, they're not the healthiest babies you've ever seen in your life. If you see the teenagers that are alive today, the men are not alpha males anymore. It's like almost every male that I see is like a scrawny, skinny, tiny version of what men used to be back in the day. I don't know if it's radiation from cell phones. I don't know if it, and I'm on one now, so I'm not saying like don't use cell phones. I'm just saying like I don't know what it is. It's just that it seems like everybody's a soy boy now or something like that, and they don't make real men anymore. I don't know. I don't see a lot of like people that are like even growing beards. That I don't know what to say. It's like they're not the same. I can't explain it. And these things make me mad because it's like the line of Cain is like destroying humans, and Jesus said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And what don't you know? You don't know that the line of Cain is from Eve and Satan having a child. Why don't you know that? Jesus said, I will tell you dark sayings of old. Why would he tell us that? And why would they be like secrets, and why would it be dark sayings? Like that doesn't, like, why is God saying dark sayings? Like I thought he was like all light and stuff. Well, it's because there were dark things that happened in the past that were like not good things, you know? And like I've said many times, Original Sin with Angelina Jolie, who's a Satanist, and Antonio Banderas, who's a Satanist, is about a woman cheating on her husband for financial gain in that movie. But I mean, she cheats on her husband secretly. And like I said, the placement of Jesus in the Jordan River is important because that's what happened. Like Adam was praying in the Jordan River, and Eve was seduced by the devil because he was pissed that he got kicked out of heaven. And so like right now on my ride right now, we're going through Concord, New Hampshire, and there's the Kristen McAuliffe Planetarium, which is, she was an astronaut. Her entire team is still alive. They're like all over the country, is still alive, but they said they all died in a space shuttle crash. They didn't. But there's a pyramid set up there where you go inside and look at the stars, and it spins like this. The wheel in the sky keeps on turning. That song from Journey. They wear like Beelzebub t-shirts and stuff like that. Why? Because they all know this stuff. It's a big secret. It's the secret. That's why all the Hollywood actors, they put one hand over their eye and they do a shh sign. Why? Because there's a lot of things they're shushing about and they're trying to keep secret. And I don't like secrets. My family kept secrets my whole life, and they ruined my family and ruined me for a long time, and I don't like secrets. So let's get the secrets out, and here's what the secrets are. It's that Satan and Eve had a child named Cain, and his descendants, all the names of the descendants of Cain mean like horrible, nasty things, like doom will come to you and blah, blah, blah. And he killed Abel, and then he drank his blood. They don't tell you that in like the canon. They took that part out. But in the book of Adam and Eve were dreaming, and they dreamed that Cain drank Abel's blood. And why? Number one, he was seraphic. Number two, you find in the book of Melchizedek that Cain didn't want to sacrifice the sheep. They used to sacrifice the sheep all the time. Why? Because they were like prefiguring Jesus coming in the flesh to die as a lamb that was slain. That's why Abraham did it too. Like it's a same thing. It's like a prefiguring of Jesus coming, the lamb that will be slain for the people. And Jesus Christ died on the cross for us, a perfect sacrifice for us. Baptized in the Jordan River as a virgin, by a virgin, born of a virgin. Why? Because sex is the original sin. First came adultery and then murder. That's what it says in the Gospel of Philip, which was dug up in Qumran this century. So why does that have to matter so much? Well, Jesus, who we just celebrated Jesus rising from the dead, right? But the Word rose from the dead, as is a day is as 1,000 years with the Lord, as it says in Peter. So in Peter it says that a day is as 1,000 years, because to Jesus, from when he was born, Anno Domini, from when Jesus was alive until now is 2,000 years, and now we're in the third, after Y2K, we're in the third day. So we're in the third day, and that's when they found these books. 1949 is when we found the books. So now we have the internet. All the books are exposed. All the books are out there. They're being read by human beings, and people have this in the public consciousness now. I'm not saying that like a new age like type of thing. I'm saying it in like, you can go out right now, stop sinning, stop doing the evil things you're doing. You can go out and read these books, and they will change your life. The Book of Melchizedek is available. The Ascension of Isaiah is available, where Jesus goes down from the seventh layer of heaven, where the pyramid is, where God's throne is, where New Jerusalem is, a pyramid at the top of the dome, because a pyramid fits at the height of a dome. So like if there's 7 domes and one of them is our dome, which blocks the ocean from the heavenly ocean from coming into our area, which is what happened during the flood. All the waters from the ocean of heaven came down into this dome and filled it up like a fishbowl, which is one of the things they call one of the operations, trying to break the fishbowl. And if you see the rocket at Chris McAuliffe Planetarium right next to the pyramid, it's got a giant like needle tip on it. What would they need a needle tip on the top of a rocket for? Why? Because it flies better? I don't think so. They're trying to break the dome. They're trying to break the crystalline glass at the dome. They also have these places set up in Antarctica where they're trying to break through the sides of the ice wall, but the ice regenerates. It's like dark blue ice, and it regenerates. And why does it regenerate? Because the foundations of heaven are built upon the ice wall that surrounds us. So do you think that God is going to allow the ice wall to disintegrate when it is what heaven's entire existence is based upon? No, it's not going to happen. You're never going to break through the ice wall to get out of it. You're never going to break through the dome to get out of it. The fallen angels are stuck here. There's no amount of science, no amount of towers that you can build high enough to get through the dome. God is going to judge this place. He's judging it right now, whether you like it or not. And it says in the books they took out that there will be a judgment upon all in the end times, even on the righteous. So we are all going to go through judgment of some kind before we die. There's just some human beings that are going to live until the end. This is represented by John, and everybody is reading the Bible thinking John's going to be alive. The disciple who died on Patmos is going to be alive till the end. No, John represents the elect. That's what Enoch said. The elect will be living in the days when the wicked and the ungodly will be removed from the earth, and we will walk upon their ashes, it says in other verses. So you might think like this is all like crazy talk. It's not. It's 100% not crazy talk. And there's TV shows dedicated to paranormal activity, things you can't see in the other realms and stuff like that, and people believe all that crap. But then they don't believe the fact that there's angels in the world. They don't believe there's demons in the world and all that stuff. But every day you see stuff that you can't explain. People that murder people for no reason, and you're like, why did that happen? Why did this happen? It's because the devil runs this world, and there are principalities and powers and different entities that run every city. Every major city has a principality over it. Like, and I've seen them in my dreams. I've seen what they look like, and they're disgusting. And to be honest, some of them look like cartoon characters that you see on TV. If you go look at paintings like back in the day in the 14th century, like the Temptation of St. Anthony and things like that, in these paintings there are pictures of like frogs and snakes and different like demons that have weird masks, skull masks on and things like that. The reason for that is the demons look like that. That's what the demons look like. They have taken on disgusting features and gross features, and that was their punishment because they followed after Satan. And I don't know why, but Jesus is Lord from YouTube used to talk about this all the time. He used to have a channel that talked about what he's seen in the underworld. Like he saw like 30, 20 foot demons with like heads upon heads, kind of like the anime Berserk. When at the end of the Berserk, there's like, it's just a medieval anime for the whole entire thing. Three basically like sections of an anime, and it used to be a manga, which is a book, but a book is called manga in Japanese like culture, and then if they transform that into a movie, it's called anime. And so the anime version of Berserk is like about this kid, and he like grows up and is tortured and stuff, and then becomes a like high-ranking soldier, and then at the end his leader of his soldier band becomes one of the 5th head demons that take over like the world basically in the end times. Which in Japan, demonology is like very popular, which is odd that people still deny all this stuff, even though Pokemon is Pokemon because they're demons, and people everywhere around, they play Nintendo games like in Pokemon games like Pokemon Go, where you in this real world go around to a digital fake stuff and find Pokemon that are like supposedly around you and stuff like that. It's like demonic stuff, and you people think it's all cute, and it's not. It's really not. And anyways, in Berserk, all these demons come out of the, like, just start appearing in the world. Jesus is Lord said that's really going to happen. All of a sudden there's going to be real demons all around us. In reality, the veil will break, and you're going to see the demons, and the only people that are protected during that time are the people that believe in God. And so I would urge everybody, like Jackie said, to get right with God if you're not. And he talked about how in the underworld there's like children that are taken, and they're tortured until they can perform certain things like opening portals and stuff like that. And you might think that's nuts, like Jesus is Lord is crazy for thinking that or talking about that or whatever, right? Okay, but I always look for similarities in what people say, and he said that, right? But there's this guy that says that he was part of the Super Soldier program on YouTube, and he's pretty rare. He's not like the popular ones that people watch. And he said that when he was 5, he took a test, and he passed this test so fast that a woman in the back, a blonde woman in like a long red jacket, took him, and he doesn't remember anything after that. He drank some juice, and then he doesn't remember anything else until he was 14 years old. Something to that effect. And when he was 14, he remembers that he was trying to pick up a 5-gallon bucket full of water and flip it over with his mind. And he almost got it off the ground with his mind, but he kept failing, and then he got knocked out again. Then he met this high-ranking black ops soldier that was pinned down in like Vietnam or something like that, and they talked about, this is way later in life, they met each other. And as this conversation was going on, there was like, they were in like a trailer or something, and you could hear pinging coming off the side of the house. So it was like, and they said, hear that pinging noise? It was like a bullet hitting the house. It was a psychic attack. And you might believe that's not true too. But he said that him and 20 kids got out of a Black Hawk helicopter in Vietnam, and they all held hands. One was a little girl, one was like a guy with a giant fro, a bunch of different kids, and they were all different looking. And they held hands, and he said they thought about whatever it was they were supposed to think about, which was to kill everybody within a 20-mile radius, and they did it. And he knew that they psychically murdered everybody in a 20-mile radius, so that the people wouldn't be pinned down in that area that they were trying to get them out of. And after that happened, later in life, he got out of the program because he didn't want to be in it anymore. And when he got out of it, when he got out of the program, he wasn't supposed to be, so there was a hit out put out on him, and a guy drove by on a motorcycle with another guy in the back, pulled out his hand and just with like a finger gun, like his own fingers, pointed at him, and he felt his heart felt like it exploded or something, and he started spitting up blood because they psychically shot him basically. And this guy said that at the end of the interview, they said, what would you tell everyone as a recommendation to prepare for what's coming in the world? And he said, be mobile. Get some type of bag and just be ready to be mobile. Jesus is Lord said that. Dan Shelley 777 said that. I've dreamed that. People are living out of old malls that are run down, back rooms of places. You have to hide where you can and get shelter where you can from all the things that are coming upon the world. And the Bible says this. And people don't think that psychics and all that stuff exists, or they don't believe that it's possible, or they don't believe in like demons and all these things. But human beings are made in the image of God, and originally we had the ability, I believe, to speak telepathically to one another, but somehow I think the fallen angels blocked it from happening or something, so that we would be powerless here on earth. And it could have happened as part of the fall. It could have happened when we fell from heaven, Adam and Eve fell. It could have happened then. I'm not sure when it happened, but I think that the reason that they use these kids for whatever reason is they have genetic markers that allow them to still speak telepathically, and they only choose people that have Germanic because of the Druids or Native American blood, because they have more power to speak telepathically than most people. So I'm bringing all this up because I feel like we're getting to the point where my dreams are going to start coming true. I don't know why Jesus is Lord's channel all this stuff got deleted, because the channel's still there, so I think he deleted his own videos. I'm not really sure why. I'm not really even sure why, lately, since I've been talking about what I've been talking about, I'm not sure what I've said that makes me be targeted more, because lately I've been super sick. I've been super heavily, more than I've ever been in my life, spiritually attacked. And I've never really felt so much oppression on my life, in every aspect of my life. And even from family that I never thought would do certain things to me, I never thought in my life. So if you're going through that, I think that there's going to be a reward for you in heaven, because if you're a Christian and you're going through this kind of stuff, God has a plan for you. It's not just for no reason. So I'm just kind of giving you encouragement that it's not just you. It's definitely not just you. And even though the skies are poisoned, even though the water and the food are poisoned, the end result is that Cain's line dies. All his progeny and all his line dies and goes to hell. The ones that didn't accept Jesus Christ as Savior. And most of them don't. They don't want to sacrifice the lamb. They don't believe in the sacrifice of the lamb. They want a different way. They want they want a vegetarian way. They don't want to have to go through the bloody mess that it is to kill a sheep. And that's what God has set up to be the way. Jesus is the way. And yeah, it was bloody, and yeah, it was gross, and yeah, it's horrible what they did to Christ, but they did that to the Word of God. They did that bloody, nasty stuff to the Word. Jesus, take this cup from God. Take this cup from me, if it be possible. Jesus said. So if you think about that, in a word sense, Jesus as being the word. God, don't let them do this to my word. Don't let them do this to my word. Because Jesus, like I said, is tough. It's not like he was like being like, don't crucify me. He's saying like, don't let them crucify my word. Don't let these people come up against me like and take my word and destroy it like this eternal thing. And God allowed it to happen so that we at the end of time could have his word back in power and in majesty and all these powerful things that happen when you take something away for so long, but it's eternal. It's like something that it completes the canon. The two stones that Satan said, take these two stones and make them bread now. Man doesn't live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. So every word is all the words that were removed, and the words removed say certain things, and one of the things they say is that first came adultery and then murder. Joseph thought Mary was pregnant from a fallen angel at first. When he came back from his carpenter trip, he thought she was pregnant from a fallen angel. And when Joseph was dying, he begged Jesus to forgive him for trying to get rid of Mary so many times, because he didn't want to be caught and shunned in Israel by evil people that would say that, oh, like, you have like a 16-year-old wife and you're a 100-year-old man, basically. That's gross. And all the things people say. And they're still saying them. These people are still speaking evil of dignities when it would behoove them to say the right thing according to what the Word of God says. Jude says, Enoch, seventh from Adam, prophesied. It means that Enoch, a pre-flood prophet, prophesied. Not just that, the Gospel of Nicodemus says that Enoch and Elijah are the two witnesses. So Enoch is a pre-flood prophet, and he's going to be an end times prophet who came back to us, taken away from the world, protected and preserved until the end times with Elijah the Tishbite. So we really need to respect that. It's something that we should not be speaking evil of. We shouldn't be saying those books don't matter. Oh, that's not what he meant. Oh, don't listen to that. I have Bibles at home that say what I'm saying. Like the archaeological Bible says what I'm saying. That, oh, it doesn't mean that. It's not necessarily what they were saying. But who wrote those Bibles? Who wrote those footnotes? Men did. Certain men crept in unawares, says in Jude, and they wrote those things. There's other men who are holy men of God that spoke as they were moved by the Holy Spirit. Enoch is one of them. And to speak evil of somebody like Enoch is the dumbest thing you could possibly do on this earth. Especially if you're a Christian, especially if you're somebody that claims to study the Bible at all and knows, like, if you study the Bible and you like can read Hebrew and Greek and all that stuff, you're in a lot of trouble if you say that Enoch is not a prophet. I'm just telling you, like, just change your ways. And I'm saying this to like anybody that's a scholar, if they're in seminary, if they're like learning about all this stuff and you actually hear what I'm saying, like, chances of that are pretty slim, but if you actually hear what I'm saying right now and you are supposedly a leader of a church or a leader of whatever, just stop talking. Do yourself a favor and just stop talking, because you're just spewing nonsense if you say that, like, Jesus like didn't take Enoch up to heaven and he's coming back as one of the two witnesses. The Acts of Pilate, the Gospel of Nicodemus, is a historical document. Nicodemus was a first-hand account. He was there. it says it in the canon that he was there. Jesus told them how to be born again because he didn't even know how to be born again. And Jesus is like, how can you not know that you're supposed to be a leader of the people, and you don't know how to be born again? And it's like Jesus isn't just saying that to him, he's saying it to the leaders now too, because the leaders now too are screwing up. And we all are gonna die someday except for the elect. There's gonna be so few people in the world soon, and a big marker of that is destruction among the Vatican. And it just started with the Pope dying. It says that the seven-hilled Rome will be destroyed. So if the seven-hilled Rome is going to be destroyed, the Vatican is not going to be there anymore. The idols are going to be toppled over. And we are not supposed to create or bow down to any idols. Whether they're of Mary, Joseph, Jesus, doesn't matter. No idols. Demons live in idols. Testament of Job. When Jesus was coming into Egypt at 3 years old, all of the statues fell on their faces and crumbled. And even the Egyptians that were generals and stuff saw it, and they're like, oh, our gods would never have done that unless the true God had come into our midst. What does that tell you? Jesus is coming into Pilate's Praetorium, and the flags had statues on them, and the statues bowed down to Jesus. Why? Demons were inside of it. The flags, statues came to life because demons are inside of it, and they bowed down to Jesus Christ. Multiple times this happened, all throughout history, and they got rid of all the stories. I hope if the Vatican is destroyed that the libraries are opened up so that people have a way to read what is in the Vatican libraries, because we need that information so that people can understand that this stuff I'm talking about is actually true. I mean, you can read it in the other books too, but I'm saying, like, if we have certain books that you can read it in right now, but there's got to be a lot more that corroborate these stories in the Vatican library. I can't imagine what's in there. Must be like a treasure trove of information that they're just hiding from us. And it says that everything is going to come to light, and it already has. Even in, even from what we have is like a feast that you could never finish. The amount of meat that's in the words that they have taken away and given back to us now by the Lord, it's like a feast you could never finish. I'm telling you right now, there's so many books to read. It's just literally profound how many books there are to read. It's just absolutely amazing. And I honestly pray that people get a chance to read the Super Gospel, read the books that are at scriptural-truth.com, the books that are at Zen's website that he has for sale for people to read, like multiple books in one, like bound into one book, like at sacredwordpublishing.com and stillnessandrepose.com, the website that got started recently. That's going to link you to those websites, scriptural-truth.com and Sacred Word Publishing, and Zen's YouTube and Robert Farrell's YouTube. So if you want to do that, or you want me to just send you the books right now, most of them that I have for free on PDF versions. Sorry, my throat hurts a little. They're at just email me, I'll send them to you. It's at jaredsallan@gmail.com, and I'll send you a lot of books for free. Some of them in there are not good books, like the Book of Lilith and stuff like that, but it's all part of one thing. I can't really take it out. But thanks to Jody for sending me that group of PDFs so I could send it out to people. I've sent it to hundreds of people, so thank you, Jody, for that. And guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. I know I jumped around a lot in this video, but I'm just trying to like bring things to light that maybe you don't know about. You know, the line I came like a long time ago after they made it so that women, like, they tricked women into wanting to work instead of staying home with the family. Like, oh, you need to have a career and blah blah blah. Once they did that, they removed, because women couldn't feed their children from breast milk anymore, they turned to formula to give to the nannies and stuff. And they took the ingredient out of the formula that was similar to breast milk so that the babies would be less nourished. And then they went on to the other programs that we know have destroyed children and caused them to have autism and all these different diseases that we see nowadays in children. And it's just, it's horrible, and it's really sad. And I can't wait for Jesus to come and heal the people that have autism. I literally did not realize how many children have autism and young adults have autism. I'm working with one right now that has it, and it's almost like every single person I've met recently has a child that is 25, 26 to even 50 that has some form of autism, and it's just a plague upon mankind. Human beings that should have lived a full, healthy life that haven't, and it's really sad. But Jesus is coming soon, and he's going to set all things right. And before he comes, we're going to hear from Enoch and Elijah. Praise the Lord for that. And I pray that a lot of people come to Christ that haven't even thought about it. A lot of people that never would have thought that Jesus was the answer until they find out this information that he's preserved for them for the end. The wine that was saved for the end. So God bless you guys. I hope you have a great day. Take care.